Hey guys, it's Rick. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be using a new tool to create a fun wreath. And if you stick around, I'll show you what that tool is and we'll talk more about it. So to start off, I picked out my stamp set and my paper for my card. I'm going to use the Balancing Mouse stamp set from Greta Steiner Designs. And I'm using the Christmas Time 6x6 paper pad from Echo Park. So I'm going to pick out my paper pad. I'm going to use that little pattern of the sleigh. And we're going to use the gingham pattern. And then I thought about using the Santa, but then I changed my mind and I decided to go something a little bit more simpler. So I picked out something that's going to complement both of those. And so I picked that little foliage piece. So we're going to check and make sure that that's all going to work together. And it really does. So we're going to move on. Now here is the rotating stamping platform from Creative Craft Products. This is a fun little tool, and I will do another video on this to show you exactly how to use it if you want me to. Leave me a comment below if you want me to see a step-by-step tutorial on how to actually use this and to do it. But it's a fun little tool. This was my first time playing with it, so I'm not going to do a full, in-depth tutorial with it. But if you want to see that, let me know. So it's really fun. You have different degrees. You can stamp your images down and turn the cardstock. There's strong magnets that hold that in place, and you just kind of turn it to get what you want to do. And the great thing about it is you will see right here is if you don't stamp very well, you can do it again because it stays in position. It's going to come up right. I think it's the next one. This one right here. Let's see. I had to go back and stamp that one again. So as long as everything was in place, I could do it. So, but that let me get my little wreath. It's super easy. It was easier than trying to do it with a stamp wheel. So we're going to color this up using the Ohuhu Honolulu Brush Markers. And for my ornaments, I'm going to do 3 different colors. But I'm starting out with my gold colors, which is Y9, E240, and E220. And all these colors will be listed on my coordinating blog post in the color combination section. So you can find that when that goes live on Tuesday. This video will go up on Monday. Whatever tomorrow's date is. I don't remember. Okay, for my green, I'm using G330, G9, and G416. So I picked 4 of each ornament, and I'm coloring each one of those a different color. One of my 3 colors, I should say. All right, for my red, I'm using R3, R02, and R16. I only picked 3 of those. And then we're going to color up our little mouse, and I'm going to use BR1, E370, E170, and BR3. I'm coloring the BR1 in my darkest areas, and then I'm going to color with I messed up and colored with E17, so I got to go back and fix that. You're going to see I'm going to realize that in just a second. I could have left it. It would have been okay. But for some reason, I picked out those other colors. So I'm coming back in with my darker mid-tone, which was the E370, and blending that out. And then I'm going to come back now with my E170 and blend that. Sometimes, y'all, I guess I was just in a hurry and was just like, oh, nah. I grabbed the right marker. Yeah, I know y'all have done that before. All right, so we're going to blend that out with BR3, which is a nice red-brown shade. And then we are going to move on to our little hat. Oh, I'm going to color his little nose. I forgot his little nose. I did those in the darker brown shades. And do his little tail, which was Y9, E20, E240, and E220. All right, so for our top of our ornament, we're using that same color combination of the Y9, E240, E220. And then now I'm going to color the hat, and I'm using R180, R3, R2, and R160. So I've put in my R180 in the darkest areas in my shadows, and I'm blending that out with R3. And I'm going to blend the R3 out with my R2, just slightly going over each of those little areas. And then my highlight is just very small, and it's R160. Now for my ornament, I'm going to use that same green combination of G330 And that's going to be on my darkest shadows. I'm putting all my shadow on the right-hand side of the objects to keep it consistent. And I'm blending that G330 out with my G90. And then I will blend that out with my G410. And you see that little ornament string up there? I decided not to use that today. For the white on the objects, I'm just using Cool Gray 2, Cool Gray 020, and plus a little colorless blender. So I just put in my darkest area, and it's going to look white when we get it compared to everything else because it's going to be up against everything. All right, so I've fussy cut those out, and I've got my cardstock. My card base is an A2 top folding card base from Cranberry Cardstock from Concord and Ninth, and I'm going to stamp that light string and my inside sentiment and a couple snowflakes that were in that stamp set. I'm going to spread those around the sentiment, and I'm going to stamp those inside with rhubarb stalk ink from Memento, if I could talk. Now I've cut my focal panel down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's going to fit on the entire card front. And I chose the little foliage piece to keep it nice and subtle. And now I've cut one strip of that plaid cardstock. I'm going to place that in the center of my card, and then I'm going to put those 2 strips of the cardstock or the pattern paper with the sleighs right underneath them, about 1/4 inch apart and about 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom. It was a cute little added in those colors, and I can take and put my panel on there. And if you did notice, I did drop red marker on my panel, so I had to go back and redo it. I couldn't get the red off, and I did stamp my sentiment in there, and I'm just going to attach that to that same cranberry cardstock. It's 4 by 4, and the panel of the ornament I cut down to 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I'm going to add my little ornament, and then we are going to add our little mouse, and I'm going to pop him up on some 1mm foam tape, and I'm just going to cut little pieces to fit behind where I need it to go. Excuse me. So I'm just popping those on, and I'm going to peel the backings off. Sorry, I had to get a drink of coffee. I'm going to add my little liquid glue on the back so I can wiggle it around if I need to. Pop him down right over the sentiment, right above the sentiment, and right over the ornament. Now we're going to come in with our clear Wink of Stella sparkle pen, and we're going to add sparkle to all of those outside ornaments with just super ease. And our big ornament, and I did add a little bit to his hat, the white parts of his hat. And then I'm going to come in with my my Uniball white gel pen and add highlights on our little mouse and his little hat. And I believe I added them to the ornament yes, I did. I added them to the ornament as well. I'm sitting here looking at the card. I don't know why I said that. So we're just going to add just a little bit of a highlight on each of those, just a little C shape. And then I'm going to add a little bit I'm going to darken his eyes with my black Sakura Koi jelly roll. And there is my card. It's all complete. If you like this video, you're probably going to like the one that's going to come up here. Thanks, guys. See you in the next video.